Okay, so I mentioned this. The Rams have, well, maybe I didn't mention this. The Rams have a very interesting blueprint when it comes to the draft. There are certain teams like the Seahawks and the Eagles that have great general managers who have great personnel scouting backgrounds, and they just draft well. The Rams aren't necessarily that team. Les needs a good GM, but it seems like he and McVay have decided that the best use of their first-round picks, which are usually at the end of round one, is in trades. And I think they feel that teams overvalue first-round picks. They'll call a late first-round pick a first one. It's kind of like an early second. So every single year McVay's been there except for one, they've traded their first-round pick. They just traded one of their first-round picks for Trent McDuffie. They have another one. They could trade that for Max Crosby. The one guy they drafted in round one since McVay's been there is Jared Verse, who's a hell of a player.
Yep.
So they got it right. But clearly they feel, as opposed to, instead of taking a lotto pick here, taking a flyer on a guy who might be really good, trade for someone who's definitely really good. Do you think the Niners should follow that blueprint, considering they've spent first-round picks on Solomon Thomas, Reuben Foster, Javon Kinlaw, Michael Williams, Ricky Pearsall, Mike McGlinchey?
Yeah, it comes down to being self-aware. The cherry on top with Trey Lance.
The worst one.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. It comes down to self-awareness for me, Grant. Like, you talked about how, Brock Purdy isn't like a drop-back quarterback who's just going to be throwing 60-yard bombs all day. What if he was? What if Kyle Shanahan ran that offense and tried to make him look like Kurt Warner, greatest show on turf? You'd be like, you're not self-aware. You don't know who your quarterback is. And it's kind of the same thing with this front office. It's like, your strength is not first-round picks. So trade them away. It's not a bad idea. And I do like the idea of getting a known commodity, because these first-round picks, there's a lot of uncertainty there. You know what you're getting with a veteran. You know what that ceiling is. You know what that floor is. So absolutely, man. I like the approach. The downside of it, though, is cost, right? Like first-round picks are cheaper generally than these big free agent signings or these big trade candidates that you're bringing in. So that's the downside, and it is a cheap organization, has been the last couple of years. So maybe that's why they don't take this Rams approach.
A lot of people felt that the Rams lost the trade for Trent McDuffie. Maybe they did. The Chiefs have had success trading away young corners, and they've not missed a beat. But Trent McDuffie is 25 years old. 25. He's just a couple months older than Renardo Green. He's an all-pro. He can play on the outside. He might be the best nickel in the league. That's a great... If you drafted a 25-year-old cornerback with that skill set this year, you feel like, man, great pick. But the fact that you can trade for a guy who's proven it in the league for 4 years, yeah, you got to give him an extension. But you're all in. You have Matt, your quarterback's 38 years old. I think it's a really, really good move. And as a Niner fan, if I were a Niner fan, I'd be annoyed that the Niners are afraid to do something. Like, why are you scared? Again, your best moves as a front office in these 10 years, trading for freaking Jimmy, Trent, and Christian. Those are three of your best moves. D Ford wasn't great. That was one bad one. But the rest are really good.
Yeah, and McDuffie's got Super Bowl experience. He's got Super Bowl experience. I think this goes back to my point earlier, Grant, that two things can be true at once. You can overpay for someone and it still be a good move. Just because you didn't get the best of the deal on paper and you may have overpaid by a little doesn't mean it's still not a good move that's going to serve your franchise well for the next couple of years. Two things can be true at the same time.
How about this? They could give Jawan Jennings, 3 years, 60 or whatever, or they could trade their first round pick to Philly for A.J. Brown, who's about the same age as Jawan and a better player.
Yep.
I'm just saying, I know you don't want to take a step back and you feel Jawan is underrated. Sure, I'm with you on that. A.J. Brown's better. They could do that. Now, he costs more money, but it's not. It's something they might be able to do. If the Eagles want a first round pick, well, here's a late first round.
Yep.
What are you going to do about it?
It's an outside the box idea. And I mean, you say the best moves they've made were the Trent, the CMC trades. Let's give them credit for that. Those were bold moves.
Yep.
Why don't they feel that bold anymore? Maybe it goes back to your theory that Kyle and John have lost a little credibility with the
I'm
man
telling
writing the
you.
checks because they used to make these kind of moves and they don't seem to the last couple years. So what has changed?
I feel like maybe the Yorks had more confidence in Lynch and Shanahan. Maybe I'm reading in this wrong. But again, back in 2020, 21, 22, it was like whatever you need. We're on the cusp of a Super Bowl. And then 2024 happened. I don't think it's the attitude is whatever you need. I think the attitude is you guys need to show us why you deserve extensions. And we're not going to make it easy on you by trading for Max Crosby or trading for AJ Brown. Like, yeah, you guys would win a lot of games if we bail you out, but a lot of coaches would, a lot of GMs would. That's us. What are you
Mm.
going to do? Can you draft? Can you develop? Like, I mean, I'm looking at the Rams. I'm looking at the Seahawks. They got these young teams with all these young players that they drafted. Where's our JSN? We thought that was supposed to be Ricky. Where's our Devin Witherspoon? So
It's almost like losing two Super Bowls a couple years apart in the fashion that they did is maybe ruffled the feathers of ownership a little bit as it should.